you're here at Zebra Shoots, back with another video. Today we are diving down a whole new rabbit hole of gun stuff that I didn't think I was ever going to get into. When you first get into like concealed carrying, because it seems like a good idea, and it is, you stop and you say, I probably won't need to go any further than a handgun. Why would I ever need an AR-15? Which is a really dumb argument when you look back at yourself in the past, and now 3 AR-15s later, here we are. But then when you get into AR-15s and plate carriers and all that extra stuff, you say to yourself, well, you know, this is all really good, but why would I ever need to get into precision rifle shooting? And suddenly, here we are. So this is our subject of the day. It is the Tikka T3X Lite. Before we get into it, let's talk about some affiliates. The first one is Axel Hearing Protection. These are their GS Extreme 2.0 earbuds, the SIG edition specifically. Look really good. We'll go ahead and throw these guys on, and notice that for the most part, once they're in there, they kind of just disappear behind your head, which I appreciate, especially now that I'm getting into precision rifle shooting, where your cheek weld is really important. I do not want my ear pro messing with my cheek weld, and I don't want my cheek weld messing with my ear pro and knocking a ear off, so that I then get an extreme ringing in my ear from shooting larger caliber rifles. You'll see with my cheek weld, I don't have any interference of any kind between my ear pro and that cheek weld. So that is one reason why I really like these. The other reason is they're extremely versatile. They're my go-to earbuds for everything, for work, for exercise, for editing these videos for you guys. They've got 7 to 8 hours of multimedia battery life, even way longer if you're just using the active listening, which is really nice. If I'm out on the range with friends or family, I can still have conversations with them. Axel is almost always running a sale, but if they're not, you can use Zebra Shoots as your discount at checkout to save yourself 15% off. Go ahead and check the link down in the description, and that will take you over to their website where you can shop around. The next affiliate is Lems Shoes. I love Lems because I'm all about versatility. That's why I love those headphones, and I want versatility in everything that I have, including my footwear. So I've been wearing the Lems Outlander for about 6 months now. I started back in June. And when I started wearing those, I was concerned that because they were waterproof and meant for like snow and hiking and rain, that they were going to be really hot, but they actually breathe really well. I wore them all summer as my work boot with no issue, and I'm now transitioned into the snow and rain season without any problems. My feet are totally dry and they're comfortable because the toe box is wide. The drop in those, they are not 0 drop. I wish they were, but they're 2 millimeters, so it's almost unnoticeable. All their other shoes are 0 drop shoes. I have a pair of their Primal 2s, which have been fantastic exercise shoes for me. I use them for the gym, I use them for running, and I use them also as just a casual shoe going out when the weather is nice. They're extremely lightweight. They do have the 0 drop. I love the sole on them. They make me feel really flat to the ground, and I not only trained but also ran a half marathon in those bad boys, and they worked perfectly for me. If you're interested in any of the offerings from Lems or shopping around to see what they have many other options as far as like comfy casual shoes, or they even have dress shoes as well. Go ahead and check the link down in my description to get yourself some Lems shoes. Now let's get into the video. I know little to nothing about precision rifle shooting. This is my first time ever really diving into it. I got this gun at the recommendation of many people who are more reputable in the space than I ever will be. One is a buddy in one of my groups who I've been out shooting with him, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to precision rifle. And then also Long Range Shooters of Utah actually reached out to me because of a post that I tagged them in when it came to this gun specifically, and he said that he loves to start a precision rifle build with a Tikka T3X. So this is the Tikka T3X Lite, and it is almost bone stock, except for obviously the way that I've mounted the scope and the way that I've gotten the muzzle device on here. So I'm actually literally going to read through the spec sheet on Sportsman's Warehouse website, which is where I got this from, and not going to really give any opinions on it because not only have I not shot it yet, I don't feel well versed enough in the precision rifle space to give opinions yet. Hopefully that will change here quickly. But let's just go through the specs on Sportsman's Warehouse website. So I've got them pulled up right here. The capacity is 3+1, so it comes with this little skinny box mag that holds 3 in it. And that guy goes in here right in front of your trigger guard like you would expect. And there's a little bolt release, not bolt release, there is a little mag release at the front here that you click in order to bring this guy out. So we're holding 3 rounds of 6.5 Creedmoor in here, which I plan on having the capabilities of holding more than that in the future, that's for sure. The barrel length is 24.3. It'll be longer in just a second when I show you and talk about one of the modifications that I've made so far. Length of pull is 13.75, and I'm assuming they set that up specifically for the average sized human being because that is me, and the length of pull here is just about perfect for me. That will also be changeable with some of the things I'm going to do to it in the future. The finish is stainless, but that really is just on the bolt itself, which is where I actually wanted it. So we'll go ahead and flip off the safety and bring that bolt back, and you'll see that beautiful shine. Tikkas are infamous for having nice, smooth actions, and this one is no different. Has a recoil pad on the stock, which again, haven't shot this thing yet, but so far it feels pretty cozy in there, so nothing to complain about there. It's drilled and tapped for a scope base, obviously. The weight is 6.7 pounds. I will make a comment on that because as I was shopping around for precision rifles to start with, the one that was like apples to apples comparison was the Bergara B14, and it's like 7.1 pounds, so not that big of a difference. There is a tactical version of this gun that you can buy that already has like a fancy chassis, and it does come with a threaded barrel, and that guy is like $1,900 and weighs 11 pounds. Now with the extra accoutrements, obviously it's going to weigh more, and this one definitely weighs more than the 6.7 pounds now that I've thrown a scope, a rail, and a muzzle device on it as well. But definitely living up to that Tikka T3X Lite standard. It is lighter than the competition, at least right out of the box. It is obviously bolt action in 6.5 Creedmoor. The color is black, the hand is right, the overall length is 41. It's about to be 47 and a half. His stock material is synthetic. The twist rate is 1 and 8, and it is a center fire rifle. So that's the bare bones of this guy. That's what you get right out of the box, and the MSRP is about $900. It can be less if you know the right people. So really cool. I'm really happy with the overall quality of it. I'm definitely going to make some changes to it, but I don't think you have to just from messing with it out of the box. So the first thing that I did was I had this whole thing, all of these things in separate boxes, sent to my buddy, who then mounted them for me because he works at a gun shop, and I could have figured it out, but I wanted it done quickly, and he did it very snappy. So I got an optic from Arkin here, which is definitely a budget optic, but the word on the street and on the tube is that they are quality. I, again, don't really know any different, so I will do a good amount of shooting through this thing, and then through some of my friends' fancier offerings, and I'll let you know how the Arkin stands up specifically at the end of all that. But this one specifically is the SH4 Gen 2 6-24 by 50. That is the specific amount of magnification that I wanted, and I got it on the recommendation of my buddy in MRAD. So the other thing is that they also have scope rings, so I decided to just go with theirs. My buddy said that they would be just fine. So these are Arkin scope rings, and then this rail down here that it's mounted on is from Anarchy Outdoors, which is located in Logan, Utah. I like to support local businesses as much as I can, so I went with Anarchy Outdoors to get this rail, which actually angles the optic down so that I can adjust more up, because you're almost always, when you're trying to set your scope up to hit your target from whatever distance is at, if you're going to make adjustments, odds are good it's going to be up, and then obviously left and right. So this allows me to have more upward adjustment in the end. At least that's how I understand it from the people who have described it to me. The other nice thing is it comes with a bubble level right here at the back. So as you're setting up your shot, you can make sure that you're level, which is important apparently for long range shooting. Okay, the only thing that I've actually modified on my own so far, I went to a gunsmith and had them do this for me, is the threading. So these barrels do not come threaded from the factory. I think the base model Bergaras and Howas don't either. So no matter what, unless I went with that tactical version, which was way overpriced in my opinion, I was going to have to get this thing threaded aftermarket to run a suppressor on it, which obviously I'm going to. So I took it to a new gunsmith here in Orem on State Street called Strange Gunsmithing, and they were awesome. They used to run a little ma and pa gunsmithing shop out of their house in Heber, and recently bought space on State Street and moved down. And so I went in to meet with them and chat with them, and ultimately decided that I wanted to have them thread this guy for me. Now the thing about it is that this barrel profile is so thin that you cannot have it threaded by 5 3/8 or whatever that, or is it 3? I don't know. The one that the direct thread for my Dead Air Nomad comes in. I was just going to use the direct thread and throw it back here and just direct thread it on, but they couldn't do that. They could do a 1/2 x 28, which I already had a muzzle device for, so I said go for it. So this is the Xeno break, and the thing is, I'm probably never ever going to shoot this thing unsuppressed. So that's why I was talking about at the beginning. It's really not 41 inches in total length. It's going to be 47.5, because my suppressor is 6.5 total inches in length with the muzzle device here. So I took this one off my AR-15. We'll probably just get another one and slap it back on there so that I don't have to switch the muzzle device back and forth between the two. But that is like the main thing that I've done to this so far. Some future ideas. I'm debating currently whether I want to get a bipod that will hook up with this stud, which I could totally do, or if I just want to get an entirely new chassis, which will definitely happen eventually, and then worry about getting a bipod for that when I can either do M-lock or do a Picatinny clamp of some kind. Would love recommendations down in the comment section about either a QD for Picatinny or for this little stud that we have here for a... Have you guys ever actually seen somebody put a sling on one of these things? I would rather get like one of the stocks that folds and shove it in my backpack than sling it on myself when going on a hunt, but that's just me. But as far as the chassis goes, I've already decided the chassis that I'm going to go with, and that is the KRG X-Ray chassis. So I'm just waiting on pulling the trigger on that guy, but you will see this guy slowly evolve over the next couple of months, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. I also love that I have to back all the way up here in order to get the whole thing in the shot, and this will probably be my thumbnail for this guy. Anyway, I love it so far. It feels really good. Again, I know little to nothing about this world, but I'm excited to get into it. One of the main reasons I wanted to do this is not only to be a little bit more versatile when it comes to my shooting profile, but also I want to get into hunting and being able to go out and gather my own meat. I had a buddy with almost this exact same rifle. He started with a Tikka T3X and he's built it out, chassis, optic, all the things, bipod, and he took an elk out here in the Utah mountains at 830 yards, which I know some people frown upon. Some people think you need to get closer, but hot dang, that is a good shot. He got it right through the lungs at 830 yards, and he's fairly new to precision rifle, just like I am. He was using, I'm pretty sure he was using Norma, just like I have already purchased for my training ammo. I could double check that. Maybe he was using some fancy Hornady stuff. But regardless, That's awesome. That's something that I would very much like to get into. That's something I see value in. So not only do I think this is cool from like a guns standpoint and from a shooting standpoint, I also think it's very practical and could be very, very useful in certain situations. Guys, if you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. If you didn't, let me know down in the comment section why. Don't forget to check out the affiliate links down in the description. And as always, I will catch you later.